Wiring low voltage under-counter lighting through walls requires careful consideration of electrical codes and safety. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides guidelines for installing low voltage wiring to ensure safe and compliant installations. The key concern is preventing damage to the low voltage cable and ensuring it's protected from physical stress and potential electrical hazards. Here are several methods to consider when routing low voltage under cabinet lighting cables through walls. Firstly, use a low voltage flexible cable designed for in-wall use, such as non-metallic sheath cable with a 14-gauge wire. This type of cable is specifically designed to be run inside walls without additional protection, but it's always a good idea to provide extra safeguarding. Then run the cable through a conduit or flexible tubing to protect it from damage. Conduit provides a physical barrier against nails, screws, and other potential hazards that could compromise the cable's insulation. Secure the conduit to framing members using cable clamps or nails. Make sure the clamps are appropriately sized for the conduit to hold it firmly in place. Then use a junction box at the light fixture location to connect the cable to the transformer. Junction boxes provide a safe and organized point for making electrical connections, protecting the connections from damage and ensuring they are accessible for future maintenance. Secondly, you can install a surface raceway, which is a metal or plastic channel along the wall. Surface raceways offer a convenient way to route cables along walls without having to run them inside the wall cavity. They are especially useful in situations where it is difficult or impossible to run cables through walls. Then mount the raceway to the wall using screws or adhesive. Make sure the raceway is securely attached to the wall to prevent it from falling or becoming dislodged. After that, route the low voltage cable through the raceway. The raceway should be sized appropriately to accommodate the cable without overcrowding. Then attach the raceway cover securely. The cover protects the cable from damage and keeps it neatly concealed. Thirdly, you can use non-metallic sheathing to protect the low voltage cable. Non-metallic sheathing provides a protective layer around the cable, guarding it against physical damage and environmental factors. Then wrap the cable with non-metallic sheathing and clamp it tightly. Make sure the sheathing is securely wrapped around the cable to provide adequate protection. Then route the non-metallic sheathing through a hole drilled in the wall framing. Drill the hole carefully to avoid damaging any existing wiring or plumbing. Then secure the non-metallic sheathing to the framing using cable clamps or nails. Make sure the clamps are appropriately sized for the sheathing to hold it firmly in place. Consider these additional points. You must ensure that the cable, conduit, and installation methods comply with the National Electrical Code, or NEC. The NEC sets standards for electrical installations to ensure safety and prevent fire hazards. It's crucial to follow these guidelines to avoid code violations and potential safety risks. Place the transformer in a readily accessible location, such as under the sink or in a cabinet. This makes it easy to access the transformer for maintenance or replacement. Protect the circuit with a fuse or circuit breaker rated appropriately for the low voltage system. Fuses and circuit breakers protect the wiring and equipment from overloads and short circuits. Make sure to use a fuse or circuit breaker with the correct amperage rating for the low voltage system. Typically, under-counter lighting systems require 12 volts direct current. Use a compatible transformer and light fixtures. Using the wrong voltage or amperage can damage the lights or create a safety hazard. Make sure the cable routing is not visible from the outside of the cabinet or wall. Concealing the cable routing provides a clean and professional-looking installation. When selecting a low-voltage cable, consider the following factors. First, voltage rating. Make sure the cable is rated for the voltage of the low-voltage lighting system, typically 12 volts direct current. Second, amperage rating. Choose a cable with an amperage rating that is sufficient for the total load of the lighting system. Third, insulation type. Select a cable with insulation that is suitable for the environment in which it will be installed, such as a damp or dry location. Fourth, cable size. Choose a cable size that is appropriate for the amperage and distance of the circuit. The larger the amperage or the longer the distance, the larger the cable size that will be required. Fifth, compliance. Ensure that the cable is listed and labeled by a recognized testing laboratory such as Underwriters Laboratories or all to ensure it meets safety standards. When using conduit or flexible tubing, consider these points. First, material. Choose a conduit or tubing material that is suitable for the environment in which it will be installed, such as polyvinyl chloride or PVC for damp locations or metal for areas where physical protection is needed. Second, size. Select a conduit or tubing size that is large enough to accommodate the cable without overcrowding. Third, fittings. Use appropriate fittings to connect the conduit or tubing to junction boxes and other enclosures. Fourth, support. Support the conduit or tubing properly to prevent sagging or damage. When installing surface raceways, keep these points in mind. First, material. Choose a raceway material that is suitable for the environment in which it will be installed, such as metal for areas where physical protection is needed or plastic for general use. Second, size. Select a raceway size that is large enough to accommodate the cable without overcrowding. Third, mounting. Mount the raceway securely to the wall using screws or adhesive. Fourth, cover. Make sure the raceway cover is securely attached to protect the cable from damage. When using non-metallic sheathing, remember these points. First, type. Choose a non-metallic sheathing type that is suitable for the environment in which it will be installed. Second, size. Select a sheathing size that is large enough to accommodate the cable without overcrowding. Third, clamping. Clamp the sheathing tightly to the cable to provide adequate protection. Fourth, routing. Route the sheathing carefully to avoid sharp bends or kinks that could damage the cable. When installing low voltage under-counter lighting, safety is of utmost importance. Always disconnect the power before working on any electrical circuits. Use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as gloves and eye protection. Follow all applicable electrical codes and regulations. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, consult a qualified electrician. When working with low voltage systems, it's important to understand the basics of voltage, current, and resistance. Voltage is the electrical potential difference between 2 points, measured in volts. Current is the flow of electrical charge measured in amps. Resistance is the opposition to the flow of electrical current measured in ohms. Ohm's law states that voltage equals current times resistance, or volts equals amps times ohms. Understanding Ohm's law is essential for calculating the proper size of conductors and the proper rating of fuses and circuit breakers. When selecting a transformer for a low-voltage lighting system, it's important to choose one that is compatible with the voltage and wattage requirements of the lights. The transformer should be rated for the total wattage of all the lights connected to it, plus a safety margin of at least 20%. For example, if you have 10 lights that each consume 5 watts, the total wattage is 50 watts. In this case, you would need a transformer that is rated for at least 60 watts. It's also important to choose a transformer that is listed and labeled by a recognized testing laboratory such as Underwriters Laboratories or all to ensure it meets safety standards. When installing low voltage wiring, it's important to follow best practices to ensure safe and reliable installation. Always use the correct type of wire for the application. Avoid running wires through sharp edges or where they could be damaged. Secure the wires properly to prevent them from moving or vibrating. Make sure all connections are tight and secure. Test the installation after it is complete to ensure that it is working properly. When troubleshooting low-voltage lighting systems, it's important to have a good understanding of basic electrical troubleshooting techniques. Always start by checking the power supply to make sure it is working properly. Check the wiring for any loose connections or damage. Use a multimeter to measure voltage, current, and resistance. Consult the manufacturer's instructions for specific troubleshooting steps. If you are not comfortable troubleshooting electrical problems, consult a qualified electrician. In summary, when running low-voltage under-cabinet lighting cables through walls, it's important to follow electrical codes and safety guidelines. Use appropriate wiring methods such as flexible cable routing, surface raceways, or non-metallic sheathing. Ensure that the cable, conduit and installation methods comply with the National Electrical Code, or NEC. Place the transformer in a readily accessible location and protect the circuit with a fuse or circuit breaker. By following these guidelines, you can ensure a safe and compliant installation. Proper planning and execution are key to a successful low-voltage lighting installation. Take the time to carefully plan the layout of the lighting system and choose the appropriate wiring methods and materials. Follow all applicable electrical codes and regulations. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, consult a qualified electrician. With careful planning and execution, you can create a beautiful and functional low-voltage lighting system for your under-cabinet area. Remember to consider the aesthetic aspects of the installation as well. Conceal the wiring as much as possible to create a clean and professional look. Choose light fixtures that complement the style of your kitchen or workspace. With the right lighting, you can transform your under-cabinet area into a well-lit and inviting space. Always prioritize safety when working with electricity. Double-check all connections and ensure that all wiring is properly insulated and protected. If you are unsure about any aspect of the installation, consult a qualified electrician. By following these safety precautions, you can minimize the risk of electrical shock or fire. Low-voltage lighting systems offer many advantages over traditional line-voltage systems. They are safer to work with, more energy efficient, and offer greater flexibility in design. With the proper knowledge and techniques, you can create a beautiful and functional low-voltage lighting system for your home or business. Always remember to consult the National Electrical Code, or NEC, for the most up-to-date requirements and guidelines for electrical installations. The NEC is a comprehensive set of standards that covers all aspects of electrical wiring and equipment. By following the NEC, you can ensure that your electrical installations are safe and compliant. Low-voltage lighting is a versatile and energy-efficient lighting solution that is becoming increasingly popular. With the right planning, materials, and techniques, you can create a beautiful and functional low-voltage lighting system for your home or business. And always prioritize safety and follow all applicable electrical codes and regulations. When selecting low-voltage light fixtures, consider the following factors. Firstly, light output. Choose light fixtures with a light output that is appropriate for the area you are lighting. Secondly, color temperature. Select color temperature that is suitable for the intended use of the lighting. Thirdly, style. Choose light fixtures that complement the style of your kitchen or workspace. Fourthly, energy efficiency. Select light fixtures that are energy efficient to save money on your electricity bill. Fifthly, durability. Choose light fixtures that are durable and will last for many years. When installing low-voltage light fixtures, follow these steps. Firstly, disconnect the power. Always disconnect the power before working on any electrical circuits. Secondly, mount the fixtures. Mount the light fixtures securely to the cabinet or wall. Thirdly, connect the wiring. Connect the wiring to the light fixtures according to the manufacturer's instructions. Fourthly, test the installation. Test the installation after it is complete to ensure that it is working properly. When maintaining low-voltage lighting systems, follow these tips. Firstly, clean the fixtures. Clean the light fixtures regularly to remove dust and dirt. Secondly, replace bulbs. Replace bulbs as needed to maintain optimal light output. Thirdly, check the wiring. Check the wiring periodically for any loose connections or damage. Fourthly, consult a professional. If you are not comfortable maintaining electrical systems, consult a qualified electrician. Low-voltage lighting systems can be used in a variety of applications, including under-cabinet lighting, accent lighting, landscape lighting, and task lighting. With the right design and installation, low-voltage lighting can enhance the beauty and functionality of any space. Always remember to prioritize safety and follow all applicable electrical codes and regulations when working with electrical systems. If you are unsure about any aspect of the installation or maintenance of low-voltage lighting systems, consult a qualified electrician.